Hello again. Welcome back to another episode of Grammar Forward. I'm Sonia. In this video, which belongs to a series on the English verb tenses, we are going to take up the sixth tense, which is future continuous tense. So join me. Let's learn everything you need to know about this tense, how it is formed, rules related to this tense, when it is used, more importantly, when it is not used, common mistakes made while using this tense, and so on. So what is future continuous tense? Future continuous tense is a verb tense which indicates that something will happen in the future and will continue for a certain period of time, not just at one particular moment. To explain the difference between future continuous tense and future simple tense, let me use this example. So imagine tomorrow I work from 8 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. So that's shown here using this timeline. And about 8 a.m. I can say that I will start working at 8 a.m. because I talk about that particular point in time. And at 1 p.m. I will finish working. Again, I'm talking about something that will happen at that particular moment. So for that, which tense have I used? I used the future simple tense. Whereas when I talk about 10 a.m., the time in between, I say I will be working at 10 a.m. That's because here I talk about an action that will be continuing at that particular period of time. So when we talk about an action that continues in future, we will use future continuous tense. Now let's learn how the future continuous tense is formed with different subject pronouns. Just as in the case of the future simple tense, the formation of this tense is also super easy. So in order to form the positive sentence, all you have to do is add the modal auxiliary will plus be plus the ing form of the verb. So here as an example, I have taken the verb work. So what you do is will plus be plus the ing form of that particular verb. And what do we call the ing form of a verb? We call it the present participle. So here you have an example with the subject pronoun I. You have I will be working. She, singular, she will be working. They will be working. So that means whether the subject is plural or singular, we always have will be plus the ing form of the verb. How do you form the negative? You just have to add the word not. But where do you add that word? Here you have he will not be working. So the word not is added after will not be working. So she will be working, the negative is she will not be working. And how do you form the contraction, the short form? Will not becomes won't. So they won't be working, same as they will not be working. But you know that in spoken English, we more commonly use the contracted forms. In order to form the yes or no questions, you just have to change the word order. So you begin with will. In the positive, you have she will be working. The question will be will she be working? So that's what I've done here. Will you be working? With they, will they be working? And in order to form the WH question, you have to add any WH word that you need to use in front of the yes or no question. So here I have added when. So you have when will they be working? When we use the future continuous tense, the listener usually understands what time we are talking about. And these time expressions help the listener to know what time we are referring to. So for example, here we have in the future, or sometimes we use next week or next year, next month, next time, at this moment next year, or at this time next year. Or we may talk about a particular point in future at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and so on. So here you have some examples. I will be playing tennis at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So that is a time expression, at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So the listener understands what time we are referring to. What will you be doing when I arrive? There you can see that I didn't use any time expression of this kind there, but you have a time clause, when I arrive. So the listener clearly understands we are referring to that particular time when that happens. Now let's find out in what situations we use the future continuous tense. Future continuous tense is used, number 1, to describe an interrupted action in the future. What does that mean? We use this tense to talk about a continuing action in the future that overlaps another shorter action. So explaining with the help of this example, he will be sleeping when you arrive. So there are two actions that will happen in the future. One is somebody arriving and the other one is someone sleeping. You know that sleeping is a longer action. So here I have used the future continuous to talk about that action. He will be sleeping. But what about the other action, arrive? What tense did I use there after when? I used the present simple. So it's a combination of the future continuous with the present simple. Here again, when you come, they will be doing their homework. So come, entering a place, a shorter action. They will be doing their homework. Homework being done is a longer action, and there I used the future continuous tense. We could also use the future continuous tense to describe an action in progress at a specific time. So these examples will make it clear for you. At 12 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be having lunch at school. So I'm here talking about this particular time, and then we will be having lunch at school. Similarly, next Monday, you will be writing the exam. So here you have a time expression. So the listener knows what time we are referring to. Next Monday, you will be writing the exam. We can also use this tense to refer to actions that are happening now and are expected to continue in the future. But please note that in this case, we always pair it with the word still. For example, in an hour, I will still be ironing these clothes. So from this sentence, you can gather that I am doing this action now at the moment of speaking, and I expect it to continue in the coming hour. Similarly, the oil prices will still be rising in the coming months. So the price rise is happening now, these months, and you expect it to continue in the coming months too. We could also use the future continuous tense when we need to ask a question politely about the future. That is, when we need to gather some information about the future in a polite way, we use future continuous tense. So for example, will you be coming with us? Sounds much better than will you come with us? Here, the second example is a WH question. When will you be leaving? So you can see that here I have used the future continuous. If I had used the future simple, the question will be like, when will you leave? And in that case, it's more like a request for you to leave. The future continuous tense is very commonly used to refer to future plans and intentions. So let's read these two examples. I will be meeting John at the conference next week. So something that's going to happen next week, future continuous tense is used. We'll be visiting them tomorrow. Again, future continuous is used. So it's clear that here, in both the cases, we are talking about our plans or intentions. Furthermore, the future continuous tense can also be used to describe the atmosphere at a particular point in time in the future. For example, when I walk into the class, everyone will be talking. When I arrive at a party, everyone will be dancing. So here we use the future continuous tense to describe the atmosphere or the background at that particular point in the future. Last but not the least, the future continuous tense can also be used to refer to parallel actions. Now, what I mean is, when talking about actions that take place side by side, simultaneously, without interrupting each other, we can use this tense. For example, she will be watching TV and the kids will be playing when I get home. So here I am talking about two actions which will be taking place side by side. Now that you know when to use the future continuous tense, it's equally important to know when not to use this tense. So keep in mind that future continuous tense is used only with dynamic or action verbs. We never use it with stative verbs. So what are stative verbs? Verbs that refer to emotions, feelings, thoughts, opinion, or ownership, possession, etc. are called stative verbs. So, in this example, you have, after I study, I will be knowing all the answers. So, here the verb is know. It's a stative verb. So, we cannot say I will be knowing. It should be I will know. We just use the future simple instead of the future continuous tense. In the second example, Rose will be hating this cake when she tastes it. Again, hate is a verb that refers to an emotion. It's a stative verb, so we cannot use it in continuous form. So it should be Rose will hate this cake when she tastes it. Just future simple is used. As always, before winding up the episode, let's take up some of the most commonly made mistakes made while using the future continuous tense. So here we begin with the first question. You will be going to the party? You can see that it's a question, and that too, it's a yes or no question. So what's wrong with this question? You might have guessed it right. The word order is wrong here. So when you make a yes or no question using the future continuous tense, we always begin with the modal auxiliary verb will. So it should be, will you be going to the party? Not you will. So you will have, will you be going to the party? And it's right. Now moving on to question number 2. When I will finish my class, you will be studying. Something is wrong with this sentence. You know that here you have two actions. One is I will finish my class and the other is you will be studying. So when you compare these two verbs, you can see that studying is a longer action. So that's why we use the future continuous tense there. So that part is right. What about this part of the sentence? This is a time clause. We begin it with when. So when you begin a time clause with when, the verb will be in present continuous tense. So it shouldn't be when I will finish my class. It should be when I finish my class. We just use the present simple tense. The third one, she will be forgetting my birthday. What's wrong with this sentence? You know that forgetting is not an action that you can continue with. So we cannot use it in the continuous form. It should be, she will forget my birthday. So here we just use the future simple tense. Number 4, he will be travel to the UK next month. Here the form is wrong. You know that when we use the future continuous tense, we use will plus be plus the ing form of the verb, that is the present participle. So it should be not travel, it should be traveling. He will be traveling to the UK next month. And the last one, when they will be visiting us. Again, the form is wrong, the word order is wrong here. It should be when will they be visiting us. So these should be exchanged. When will they be visiting us? Thank you for watching my video and I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you found it interesting, please like and share the video, and if you are new with me, please do subscribe to my channel. Meet you in the next session. Goodbye until then. Take care and stay safe.